Hi there, this is Dr. John Whitcomb talking about microplastics. They're everywhere. The world produces about 320 million tons of plastics a year. 40% of them are single use, just used once. The problem is they break down into small pieces, and then they last a very long time, and they break down to smaller and smaller pieces. They're called microplastics when they get down to the size that they can get in your blood. And we're beginning to find research on that and what effect that has. Where are we finding it? Well, there are studies that now show that virtually every placenta has microplastics in them. There are studies that show that when you do look at colons and colon surgery for colon cancer, you find microplastics there. There are examples that look at animals' intestinal studies, and you see that there are disruption of the gut epithelium, or the lining of the gut, and with increasing inflammation. There are also ideal circumstances for bacteria to grow on that are not normal bacteria, so we're encouraging abnormal bacterial growth. There are studies that show that the floor of the Mediterranean is almost completely coated with plastic particles. And the problem is they aren't soil. Plants can't use them to grow in, so they don't really work like soil. They don't have nutrients in them that plants can use. They continue to excrete BPA and other compounds that aren't good for us. In fact, there's such a risk that the Endocrine Society has now come out with an official document saying, we believe that microplastics are a severe danger to human health. That's because we're seeing them everywhere, and their effects are ubiquitous, and they're all sort of just below the threshold of acute toxicity, but enough to make you nervous. What's a person to do? What will work for me? I just want to follow this story. I want to start talking about it, and I think we need to all be aware of it. We dutifully every week recycle our plastics, and yet only 9% of plastics are actually reused. All the recycling you do, 91% of it's to shame. Can you start doing one thing? Can you start taking paper bags at the grocery store? Can you take your own canvas bags and reuse them over and over again when you go grocery shopping, and stop getting plastic bags at the grocery store? Can you stop storing your food in plastic containers and start using glass containers? Think of how you can do this. I have a feeling this is one plastics have become so convenient and so easy. But don't be hoodwinked thinking that recycling is going to save it. They're all going to landfills, and eventually they're getting into our environment. We only have one precious planet to live on. We can't live on a plastic globe. Dr. John Whitcomb for News and Nutrition. Microplastics are everywhere.